Hi everyone. So on this video, I'm going to speak about US stock markets. So for the last few months, I haven't been speaking about the US markets. The reason was that I wasn't buying much in that market. Now I feel that the entire position in the US is set to be pivoted. So I am building a lot of positions now. Elections are going to happen. So I'm going to comment on that as well, that what kind of election rally we can possibly expect. And I will give you stock specific commentary. So on that note, let me quickly touch upon the concept of long-term investing also, that many of us look for companies like 10 years ke liye I'll buy something and I will just keep on holding my positions. So are like some Indian companies great from that front or US companies great from that front? See guys, I mean, there are good companies in India also, good companies in the US also, but from longevity point of view, कि अगर आप एक business लेके 10 years तक, you just keep it and don't do much. I think that these type of companies are much greater in number in the US. आप खुद ही सोच के देखो, do you really think that Google, Apple, Amazon, these companies are going away like in the next 3-4 years? No, almost all of us are using these products on everyday basis. Meta, for example, serves approximately उनका जो daily average users हैं, there are approximately 1/3 of the world uses like Meta products on daily basis. Now that's how powerful these companies are. So therefore, understanding about the US market is also very, very important. Second key point, that I am also trying to diversify my portfolio internationally. अभी जो ये 12.5%, 12.5% LTCG लगा दिया, FNO पे tax बढ़ा दिया. So anything can happen in the Indian market. So all the profits, notional profits that you're seeing can go away also. So on that note, it's very important to internationally diversify. I'm personally doing it. I will be moving 30-40% of my portfolio at least outside India because I see that as a long-term hedge. I'm also starting an NRI community in case you guys are interested in joining that. If you are outside India, you want to learn more about international investing, how to invest in Dubai, how to invest in US stocks, how to invest in Thailand. These locations I'm personally going and visiting and learning more about. I'm currently in Dubai. I'll be spending a fairly long period of time here to understand the real estate market here. I'll share all those type of insights with you in the NRI community. The link is there to join in the description and comment box. Okay, so very quickly, let me quickly touch upon where Nasdaq currently is. There are two types of indices, Nasdaq and S&P 500 in the US. Okay, so Nasdaq की पहले मैं बात करता हूँ, and even on my member community had categorically said that SIP in Nasdaq was very, very good. We bought a lot here in this zone, and since then Nasdaq has given very good run up. The reason was कि दिख रहा था कि you know what, this is like a cup with handle that is getting formed here, so it will go something like this, and फिर ये इस तरीके का कुछ level निकल के आएगा. So this level has already been achieved, right? So this was the mid-term perspective on Nasdaq, which has already been achieved. So okay, so this was regarding the mid-term. Now let us look at the long-term. So if you consider this entire pattern, right? So this is very good accumulation that has happened on Nasdaq, right? ये थोड़ा सा एक तरीके से आप इसको cup with handle pattern भी बोल सकते हो. So if you figure out the technical target of Nasdaq from here to here, इसको आपको करके ऐसे करना पड़ेगा. Right now, if you go and stick it with this depth, now then the level comes out to be approximately 26,000. Okay, and अभी Nasdaq कितने पे? अभी Nasdaq is somewhere here, right? So this is the long-term target for Nasdaq. There is a 50% clear gain from a technicals point of view. Now maybe it will take like 3 years, I don't know, but from a safety point of view, this accumulation of entire Nasdaq in this zone looks to be complete. Okay, बहुत सारे narratives बनाए गए थे, जैसे कि AI is going to eat up all the jobs. EV narrative was there, right? Very good earnings came for major tech companies, right? So that also happened. Chips manufacturing, like Nvidia वगैरह काफी अच्छा उन्होंने perform किया. I picked up a company called as SMCI. उसमें 200% का run up था, right? In the last 1.5-2 years में. So very, very good bet for me. Made a lot of money from this, right? Meta, for example, आप लोगों ने देखा होगा. I will link the video here also. When I made it, there was a lot of negativity associated with that because बहुत पिटाई हो रही थी उस समय. Then the stock gave like 150% plus run up. अब इतनी बड़ी कंपनी सोचो 150% run up. It was a clear like you know lollipop था वो, right? I mean, in order to buy this stuff, literally like if you pick good companies at a discount, you're almost given to make money. उस समय आपने दम होनी चाहिए कि you understand things confidently and make bets. And even साल में, if you can make even 2 such bets, literally 2 such bets, then you know what, you will generate like massive wealth. So okay, so जो हो गया सो हो गया, because you will say that okay, I missed the SMCI rally, I missed the Nvidia rally, I missed the Meta rally. What is it that I can do next? Amazon खरीद लूँ, Apple खरीद लूँ, all that stuff. So let me take you point by point and see guys, I mean I get to speak with a lot of investors. I'm running my hedge fund. So I get to speak with a lot of international investors. They are looking for safety. Okay. Now, in the past, if you go back like 10, 15 years ago, the concept of safety was in bonds, right? कि आप US Treasury में जाके पैसा डाल दो, जैसे pension funds वगैरह का बहुत पैसा आता है इसमें. That will continue to happen, but there is a very high, ultra high net worth individuals. These would be people more than $30 million in liquid savings or liquid wealth. Where are they moving, right? So they will continue to invest in US tech stocks, especially Nasdaq oriented companies. जब मैं Nasdaq बोलता हूँ, it's like US tech. Okay, so it's tech heavy. Okay, when I'm speaking about S&P 500, that's like broad-based index in the US, right? So जो ये वाले जो लोग हैं, right? Ultra HNWI. These people are going to continue to invest in big techs even going in the future. So अभी थोड़ा बहुत correction आया है, I'll speak about that. But let me give you a very broad macro view about US elections कि अभी अच्छा time क्यों है खरीदने के लिए. So I'll show you like 3-4 key charts and then I will come back to stock specific conversation. So this is exactly the type of data that I will share on my NRI community also. So I will do a lot of exclusive videos for them also. So in case you're someone who will benefit from international investing, definitely check out that community. So anyways, coming back to the topic, if you take a look at this particular chart, what you will notice is that in non-election years, right, non-election years and election years ka data hai, made money, right, and lost money, right? So in non-election years, 70% of the time you make money, and in election years, almost 83% of the times you make money. So is it good to invest during the election year? The short answer is yes. So वहाँ पे elections होंगे November. So एक तरीके से we can say that election year has started, and given this data, it definitely makes sense to invest, right? Now, if we look at the election year stock market performance as per election year in 1926 data है, so I don't think there is any point in terms of understanding that. But from here, if we actually start looking at, then we will see that 16% run up, 23% run up. This was 2008, so this was an anomaly year, right? वरना 16% run up, 18% run up. Now अब आप क्या करोगे? अब आप है ना इसको निफ्टी से कंपेयर करने लग जाओगे, right? कि निफ्टी तो यार 12.5 देता है, right? This is giving like whatever only 10.5. भाई इसमें आप डॉलर एडजस्टमेंट भी कर दो. Okay, so डॉलर एडजस्टमेंट क्या होता है कि INR keeps falling by roughly 4 to 5% a year. Okay, so ये अच्छा data है. This is not बुरा data, right? I mean, when we are looking at these type of returns, because this we have to understand in terms of dollars. Now, the second key data point that I will show you is that many people try to over invest in the election year. या फिर सोचते हैं कि you know what, अभी मैं निकाल लेता हूँ and election के पास I will invest money in US stocks. So उसके लिए this data is very, very interesting, and what you will notice is that see, if you invested in the entire time in S&P 500, यहाँ पे मैं Nasdaq की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, यहाँ पे I am talking about S&P 500, okay, then you would have made the most returns. But if you only invested, you know what, अच्छा Republicans आ जाएंगे तो मार्केट बढ़ जाएगा, या डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प जीत गए तो भाई साहब तब मार्केट बढ़ जाएगा, या कमला हैरिस जीत गई तो तब मार्केट बढ़ जाएगा. Now please don't try to apply the Indian election brain in the market कि मोदी जी आ गए तो इलेक्शन स्टॉक मार्केट बढ़ जाएगा, तो डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प जी आ गए तो इलेक्शन में स्टॉक मार्केट बढ़ जाएगा. नो, डोंट डू ऑल दिस. जस्ट स्टे इन्वेस्टेड, डोंट ट्राई टू स्विंग इट, राइट? दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग. राइट नाउ वेरी वेरी गुड टाइम कि आप नवंबर से पहले पैसा डाल दो, राइट, इन द यूएस मार्केट. नॉट एन इशू. यू हैव टू बी स्टॉक सिलेक्टिव, नो डाउट अबाउट दैट. थोड़ा बहुत आपको एनालिसिस करना पड़ेगा, बट फ्रॉम अ मैक्रो लेवल देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम in terms of investing in US stocks as of now. Okay, so now comes the next point that, okay, fine, I want to pick some stocks, then what possible options can there be? So number one is Nasdaq, जिसके बारे में मैंने बात करी, आपको टेक्निकल्स भी दिखाए. So depending on your horizon risk profile, you can consider that. एक और opportunity है. Now this is not an investment advice, आप अपने हिसाब से देख लो जो भी आपने करना है, right? My job is not to give you investment advice. I'm just sharing my perspective on things, okay? So if you take a look at Google, for example, right, 6.5% से रफली गिर गई है. Similarly, Amazon had been crushed a little bit. So 6-7-8%, 10% के आसपास का correction is happening in these type of stocks. On top of that, if you look at some big players portfolios, ये मैं आपको वॉरेन बफेट जी का portfolio दिखा रहा हूँ. What you will notice is that from the quarter of 2023, he has maintained his positions in the market. He has not increased it. Okay, so बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ भी उसमें चेंज नहीं आया. इनफैक्ट थोड़ी सी कट कर दी है फ्रॉम द लास्ट क्वार्टर. आप देख सकते हो, he was sitting on how much, 351 बिलियन. अभी ये कितने पे बैठे हैं? 331 बिलियन. सो $20 बिलियन उन्हें कैश में कर लिया अपना. एंड वेयर हैज ही कट हिज पोजिशन? सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यू विल सी दैट एप्पल स्टॉक, यू कैन सी दैट ही हैज एक्चुअली सोल्ड ऑलमोस्ट 13% ऑफ हिज होल्डिंग ऑन एप्पल स्टॉक. So what does this mean to me as an investor, and what is it that I am reading from this? So आपको देखना ये पड़ेगा at a macro level that there are two primary type of stocks that are there in the US. So one are called as value stocks, right? And the second are called as growth stocks, right? So US market is फंडे पे चलता है, right? कि the money rotates from value stocks to growth stocks and from growth stocks to value stocks, right? Now growth stocks के examples क्या होंगे? So these would be M7 companies, the magnificent seven जिसको बोलते हैं, Apple, Google, Netflix, all these companies. And value stocks कैसे हो गए? These are like your consistent stocks, like GM हो गया, shipping companies हो गई, all that stuff. So these will be your value stocks. मैं एक आपको डेटा पॉइंट और दिखाता हूँ. दिस इज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग डेटा पॉइंट एंड इस पर मैं थोड़ी सी कमेंट्री भी लिखूंगा कल एनआरआई कम्युनिटी पे. सो अगर आप इस पे डेटा देखोगे, सो व्हाट यू विल नोटिस इज दैट दिस कंपेयर्स द 23-year परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ 500 value versus growth stocks, right? What you will notice is that this orange line is value, right? This blue line is growth stocks. अब जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल दिस एंटायर फेज, राइट, फ्रॉम 2010 टू ऑलमोस्ट लाइक 2020, राइट, दिस वॉज ग्रोथ फेज. इसमें आपके एप्पल, मेटा, नेटफ्लिक्स, ये सब बहुत ज़्यादा बड़े. ओके, फिर क्या हुआ था? फिर भाई इसके बाद अभी ये नेक टू नेक ही चल रहे हैं, राइट. एक फेज ऐसा आया था जब यहाँ पे टेक करेक्शन हुई थी बहुत ज़्यादा. ओके, नाउ व्हाट इज हैपनिंग दैट हियर वैल्यू स्टॉक्स हैव स्टार्टेड टू राइज, राइट, एंड ग्रोथ स्टॉक्स, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया, वॉरेन बफेट जी इज कटिंग हिज पोजीशंस, यू नो, एंड गूगल में थोड़ा सा करेक्शन आ गया है, अमेजॉन में और आ गया है. तो एक नेचुरल क्वेश्चन होता है कि यार अच्छा और करेक्ट हो सकते हैं अमेजॉन एंड ऑल दिस स्टफ? बिल्कुल हो सकते हैं. तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ यू टेक अ लुक एट एप्पल कंप्यूटर्स, what you will notice is that it is almost at its all-time high. In fact, it is still at its all-time high. So यहाँ से correction होने के chance हैं. There is very good chance of correction. Now, why is that the case, right? The first key reason for that is that there has been a massive AI rally in the tech stocks. Now, Apple is not necessarily playing the AI rally game, but other M7s, they are heavily involved. For example, Microsoft हो गया या Google हो गया, they are betting a lot on AI. Okay. Second key point is that interest rates are still very high. Interest rates have not been cut. जब interest rate cuts आएंगे, that is when these companies collect a lot of debt, right, and they increase their debt positions and throw a lot of money on R&D, which eventually kind of rallies the market, right? So this game is still like good 3 to 6 months away. So from an immediate short-term perspective, there is a very high chance of correction on these stocks. Whereas there is more value, well, there is more value in value stocks, okay? जो consistent type के stocks होते हैं. So one stock where I'm looking quite heavily into is called as a global ship lease. So let me do a very quick commentary here. So basically, as the name suggests, they run like shipping containers, okay? So whenever there is increase of trade and more import exports coming to and from US, this increases. China is rebounding. Now there will be a lot of resumption of trade between US and China, and these type of companies can benefit a lot. Please note, this is a highly cyclical business, right? So this was when the US-China trade war broke out in 2016. This company suffered a lot, right? And ये suffer करती ही रही. उसके बाद थोड़ा सा rebound आया and now it is going sideways. So this is a very good turnaround stock as per my understanding. I will be building some positions in this. Again, this is not a stock recommendation. Whatever you feel like doing, please do. I'm just sharing you my understanding of the entire thing, okay? So whenever there is rebound in China, जैसे मैं Chinese stocks काफी टाइम से ढूंढ रहा था, not great investment opportunities to be honest. It's very opaque, right? But these type of China proxy play are much better in my understanding for us as international investors. अब ये छोटे छोटे जो points होते हैं, तो this is what I will teach you, right? Even on my NRI community. Taxation में कैसे आपको देखना है, tax residencies कैसे देखनी है, how to ensure tax saving, all that stuff I will teach you through my NRI community also. But these insightful points is what you need to know in order to do well in the stock market. So anyways, coming to the topic, that I feel that this is a very good company from that angle. This is an example of a value stock. If I show you the financials also, you will see all green numbers, okay? ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है कि भाई इसमें कुछ भी गड़बड़ हो रही हो, right? So this is in a very strong rebound from that perspective, and I'll definitely be building some positions on it. So anyways, quickly summarizing, number one, Nasdaq is very good from an SIP point of view right now. It is likely to give a breakout in the next 1 odd year. We can see a good rally if the entire market sort of supports. Number two key point is that election years are good to invest, and by no data tells us that it is bad to invest. So we should definitely take advantage of that. Number three, we should not keep on waiting, right? कि यार you know एकदम मतलब डेमोक्रेट आएगा तभी मैं करूँगा या रिपब्लिकन आएगा तभी मैं करूँगा. No, okay. Number four point, there in the short term there is a chance that the growth stocks might correct short term basis. Long term के लिए बहुत अच्छे हैं, no problem. In the short term, value stocks is where the value truly lies. So please identify more. I will also give you more commentary on value stocks going forward. I hope you enjoyed this insightful conversation. If you did, do press the like button and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon.